Hello, I'm Goofy Goose. Today I will give you guys information about heroes in Wacky Squad based on my personal experience. But since it's based by my experience, so we will ignore heroes that I dude had or never use like Nya.
Best one for me is Sabiro here. Why it's best in my opinion. All the skills and artifact very useful for almost every PV content, also doing great for PvP. Here I show you where to buy Sabiro shards beside from class store. I highly recommend you to get the shards once a month. It's debatable which should be second best warrior between Chubby and Neza. But I personally like Chubby since he good at dealing damage in PV, also good for PvP. But Neza also good for his stun on PV, and he kinda gave attack speed buff for the team while 8 stars. Actually, the best warrior should be Mulan, but it's hard to get her copies, since she only available during events. Therefore I recommend to get Sabiro first, and either Neza or Chubby next. I really hope can made my Mulan 8 stars in the future. Now let's talk about mages. The best mages is no debatable is Dao. Even 1-star Dao is so useful in stages and elite stages. Even getting her copies is hard since she is limited heroes, which only available so far from event. Then here come my favorite mage, Poseidon. I use him since the day I got him for every fight, both PV and PvP. He's so useful for PV because of his slow and knockback. The third places for me is Chen. He have massive owl. And if later you able to unlocal his legendary or even his mythic artifact, it's so useful since it's reduce enemy movement speed and magic defense. Last mage I want to mention here is Carl. ISSR mage hero that also provide knockback, which very useful for PV.
It's hard to choose between Kyle and Sparta. Let's check Sparta first. Also 8 stars Sparta provide debuff reduce enemy def. Also Sparta mythic air attack is one of the best in the game. Here I show you where to get Sparta shards once of a month, then I highly recommend it for you to buy it every time it's available. And here it comes Kyle. I would say I always use Kyle for PV except for territory. This where you can buy Kyle shards once every month. I highly recommend you to buy every time it's available. Next is SSR summon heroes, which first is Pinocchio. I used him so much back then because he made 3 wall during the fight, which very good in stages. Another good SS or summon heroes is Cuckoo. Cuckoo is good because he dealt decent damage, especially in a boss fight. Last one is Akira. To be honest with you, I never use him at all. But later in elite stages there's one mode that you only could do if you had Akira. A 1-star Akira should be enough. Now it's support heroes. First we gonna talk about Foxy. Foxy could be said as the best support to fight waves since she slow enemy, while giving attack speed buff and ATK buff for allies. It's phenomenal when you had her at 8 stars because she will buff the whole heroes in the same row as her. Here I show you where you could purchase Foxy Char in the shop once a month. Second support I had to mention is of course Change. She gave so much ATK buff for the whole team. Change shards is a little bit hard to get since there's no store offer her shards. Last support I'm gonna mention is White. Based on my experience, she is the best PvP support. But in the early until mid-game you don't need her that much since she almost doing nothing in PV except on several elite stages modes. Finally, the Marksman. The best marksman, or could be said as one of the best heroes, is Cupid. However, getting him is hard due to limited heroes, which he can only obtain on some events. He good because he provide huge knockback on enemy, while dealing tons of damage. And also while he 8 stars he provide attack and HP buff for others heroes in the same row as him. Too bad I need a little bit more to make him 8 stars. Next we go into the SS or Marksman. First of here come Medusa. She more likely a crowd control hero, I'll provide reduced defense and increasing enemy damage taken. Second SS or Marksman heroes would be Jack. He's a good damage dealer especially on early till mid game. There's few more marksman heroes could be useful. Like Silva, I used her in almost every boss fight since he could reduce enemy path from fat away. The other one is the new agent kid. I had him only 1 star, but that's enough so far cause of his third skill is very helpful enough in a boss fight. Another huge boss DPS will be Hao Yi. Yes, Hao Yi probably could be compare or even could had better output compared to Sabiro. The down fact is Hao Yi need to be 15 stars first, then Hen could become a beast. The last one I will mention is Li Bai, but since he is also of the limited heroes, don't have any copy of him so far, therefore I had no experience worth him. But people said Li Bai could provide massive damage once we had shards and able to build him. Thanks for watching the video. If you like more Wacky Squad video, please kinda like us.